I didn't. The DWP price point for the avoided cost of renewable energy is 11 cents. We may have studied this for a long time, but prices are coming down and the market's changing rapidly. The projects we're talking about that are eligible for the feed-in tariff program are between 6 and 600 times the size of a home residential system. For the larger portion of this, the 1,000 kilowatt to 3,000 kilowatt, the California utilities recently held an auction for pricing for these. The latest report from the PUC showed the average price of the contracts executed for this program was 9 cents a kilowatt hour. So what are comparable prices for renewables? We bought big renewables at 9 cents. Other utilities in the state of California have bought an average portfolio at 9 cents. That was for projects 1 to 20 megawatts, but they had projects into the 1 to 3 megawatt range. I do not oppose the feed-in tariff program. I oppose the pricing in this initial level because it is substantially too high, and the pricing was increased about 50%, or the subsidy was increased about 50% in the filing that was released, and I had 1 day to review it. It deserves a full airing, and that's one of the reasons why 245 is appropriate.
So you had 1 day?
One business day. After an equivalent of a 50% increase in the subsidy from ratepayers to this program. My concern with this is it's substantially above market prices for renewables. We can get renewables for 9 to 11 cents. We're getting small renewables for 9 to 11 cents. Pages 9 and 10 of the handout I've given to you show the locations of bids that have been received largely from solar projects throughout California by Southern California Edison and some of the other
California Edison, how it was.
Councilor, please check the time. We already over 18 seconds.
Edison also has a FIT program that hasn't been very successful, but for larger projects, 1 megawatts to 20 megawatts, and including some 1 to 3 megawatt projects like we're looking at our FIT program, they've gone out for auction on those. And the results on pages 9 and 10 of my handout show the location of some of the bids.
One, you mentioned that you were only given 1 business day to review a substantially changed program, but the change in the program was the price point alone, wasn't it? From 15 to 17 cents?
Yes, but that's a 50% increase in the subsidy, and that was 1 day was just barely enough to do a basic calculation on that.
Right, but the architecture of the program, the rest of the program is essentially the same that we've been discussing in this council with the DWP, with the business community, with the ratepayer community for months, years.
There was a bundling component to this that also dropped out or was separated from it. So there were other changes to the program.
Okay, but your position is that, as I understand it, that the pricing should be based on the avoided cost of the renewable portfolio.
Or the current market price of renewables.
Okay.
And the renewables that are currently setting the price are all renewables that don't really fluctuate much with time.
Okay.
Other than going down.
So right now, the bulk of the DWP's renewable portfolio is wind, which is priced considerably lower than solar, precisely because it has different attributes. So when you have these two kinds of, and there's many other sources of renewable energy as well, of course, geothermal and others, but as to wind versus solar, we don't get peak wind for the most part, and solar has benefits that wind does not. Isn't that true?
This is adjusted for in the price ratios that DWP applies as part of this program. The 17 cents isn't really 17 cents. On peak, the price per kilowatt hour is not 17, but 2.25 times that. So over 35 cents a kilowatt hour.
Okay, can the department speak to those issues as well, please, since I'm out of time?
Mr. Zine.
Wait, I need further answer to my question.
Oh, okay. So there is a time of use pricing that has off-peak pricing being very, very low, peak pricing being very, very high. But when you look at the output of solar, to orientate solar for maximum generation, the average price comes in at the 17 cents. Now, there are opportunities for developers to maybe orient it more towards peak hours and get less overall production. And it may cost about 5% more if they do that. But there's less megawatt hours actually being sold to us.
One further point on the renewables and the price of renewables. Those prices are set mostly on solar these days, large solar projects, and a little bit on geothermal. Is that correct, Mike?
Yes. Is basically looking at our 2012 Integrated Resource Plan as we move to 25% in 2016 and 33% in 2020. We have looked at the types of renewables we need to have the most robust power system possible in our transmission grid. And so those renewables cost us delivered about 11 cents. And it's a portfolio of geothermal, solar, and just a little bit more wind in our portfolio.
Information for you here today and have been explaining that in some of our responses. Our pricing level that we're talking about, yes, it is 2 cents higher than what we were talking about earlier. There actually was a range of costs that were discussed in the many public workshops that we had. Pricing significantly higher than 17 cents was contemplated. We believe that the pricing level that we have does constitute a level that's necessary to prime the pump and get things moving here. The incremental cost above and beyond the discussed average 11 cents per kilowatt hour of the rest of our renewable program over a 3-year period of implementation of this will result in an average cost per month for our residential customer of between 15 and 17 cents a month. I think one of the commentators said it was something like a postage stamp. Well, it's actually like about a third of a postage stamp.
Well, this postage is going up again, by the way.
It is. The nice thing about this is once we enter into these contracts won't go up. It'll be like a forever stamp. So
we like those.
So as a result, we believe that we've made the right move. We believe it's at a pricing level that's been well substantiated. We think it's something that the very minor cost that we're talking about here does the right thing to make Los Angeles a leader in the feed-in tariff and solar at an affordable price point that's been well substantiated, and we very much advocate that you move